Okay, good morning, class. So for today, we'll be continuing with topic four for biodiversity. So we'll be looking at biodiversity in danger. So for this one, I just wanted to copy this, type this, copy this, watch this. It's an amazing video about okay, it's a video about a whale like eating those plastic bags. So please watch them. Um, it will help us realize the impact that we're making in our environment, and especially with those animals who are clueless whether the things that we're throwing will be food or just garbage. And I want you to answer the following questions. Okay, so pause the video and answer the questions. I'll be posting those questions too anyway. So types of danger. So we're looking at uh, in the current situation of an animal species or an organism depending on their population. So we'll start with so least concern. An example would be the giraffe. No one's concerned because they have a healthy population. Next one will be nearly threatened. An example will be the monarch butterfly. So you have the monarch butterfly here. Yeah. Well, the problem is with the monarch butterfly, they are migratory butterflies. So when they go to certain areas, when they start feeding on, and let's say, I don't know, when they start feeding, and in that area will be is sprayed with insecticides, and then we have a problem. They will have a problem. Threatened. The numbers are decreasing. Uh, they are vulnerable, facing high risk of extinction in the wild. So like the tuna, over harvesting, like the polar bears, when the habitat is threatened, then the number starts to decrease. Endangered, um, when they are facing very high risk of extinction in the wild, like the green sea turtle. And the thing is, like for the turtles like this, they need to wait for 30 years before they start producing. So even if they are producing, let's say, 200 eggs, every time they lay eggs will be 200 eggs. Well, according to one study, for every 1,000 eggs laid and hatched, only three of those will survive. So, and imagine those three needs to survive for another 30 years before they start to reproduce. Critically endangered, facing an extremely high risk of extinction in the wild. Like for this rhino, poachers will get their horns and then sell them to the black market. But that's the thing, right? Like they only hunt. They killed for the horns only, and then which is, I mean, for me, is senseless, right? So now they become critically endangered. I have here a video of endangered species. If you could just copy that and watch it. Extinct in the wild. Um, so when they're extinct in the wild, known only to survive in captivity. I remember showing you a video of the golden frog from Panama. Um, so maybe most of those frogs now are extinct in the wild because of the chytrid fungus. So now they only survive in captivity, and hopefully they will start to breed in captivity. Extirpated. Extirpated will be extinct on, like, extinction of species in a specific region. So let's say, um, I don't know, maybe hypothetical. Say for example, of if there are no brown bears in North America, then they are extirpated, but they will still, they those species will still be available in other countries, but extirpated in, let's say, North America. Okay, um, extinct, or let's oh yes, going back to extirpated, like in Panama, right? So there are a lot of frogs that are becoming extinct. So but maybe the chytrid fungus is not present in other countries, then those species of frog will still exist there, but they are extirpated in Panama. Extinct. The last individual has died. Like this one, and I don't know if you still remember the passenger pigeon. Okay, So, what are the factors that lead to extinction? Are humans only to be blamed? What do you think? Pause the video. Think. Cause of danger. Next one. First one. Obviously, this is not well. Some of the natural disasters are uh, maybe we contributed to that, um, but natural disasters can be a cause of extinction too. Environmental change, right? Change in weather patterns, change in climate, like those things are um, can be a cause for extinction. Overpopulation, lack of food, right? So when species all of a sudden, their population started to boom, started to increase rapidly, then if they don't have any resources, then um, maybe that can start a decline of population. Disease can be a factor also, like what is happening with the frogs in Panama. So with the chytrid fungus, over specialization. Say for example, for the pandas, right? If so they only eat bamboos, and koalas only eat eucalyptus leaves. So what will happen if they don't have supply of those um, uh, resources? Human causes habitat destruction. So maybe create when we create let's say new communities, and obviously cutting trees and those things, then we are ruining the habitat for other species, and um, that can cause them being endangered or extinct. Pollution, okay, and this is self-explanatory, especially with the fish, right? And some animals that are sensitive to pollution. Um, Introduction of non-native species. Say for example, uh, in an area where there's no huge predators, and then when you introduce another species, then the predator will start eating the smaller animals, and eventually will cause extinction, maybe, or extirpation, meaning they are extinct in a given area only. Or there's this one case where in an aquarium hobbyist through an aquarium plant in the ocean, and then that aquarium plant started growing, and taking the spot for other animals, for other plants, and covering the corals, and then eventually killing them, right? So that can be another problem. Overuse or illegal use. um, and this is self-explanatory, but if you want, like, overuse, like, when we are illegal use of, let's say, like overuse of machineries that will produce pollutants, overuse of chemicals, and I was once told that chemicals should be um, considered guilty unless proven innocent. So what that means is that we don't introduce chemicals into the environment if we don't know if it's going to be harmful or not. So a lot of tests should be done first. Okay. Or illegal use, or some manufacturers, they don't care whether they're producing a lot of pollutants, right? Reducing our